Race 1 at Flemington is the Leilani final for the mares, 1400 metres. My numbers are 1, 2, 3 and 4. Organza's the class act here. She should have tested a smart one in Ready to Profit last time. She was wide and the best run in the race prior to that behind the Flying Renewal. She's on the heels of Savatiano before that. Now that's Group 1 form. Look, she's been left alone at the top of the weights, but I think she's just too good for them. 2 Pop Queen, big odds last time, but a big win from the tail. She won running away. She relished the hot speed there and being ridden cold. Prayer Eclipse was super genuine. Back in trip, some little query, but she always runs well. And now Equestro, a couple of unbeaten runs this prep, albeit on heavy ground. The form from the last run ties in through Miss Mandito, who then placed to Elite Drake. So she has a case. 1 on top, 2, 3, 4. Flemington race number 2 is a handicap, 2,000 metres. Numbers here will be 3, 1, 7 and 2. Mascalino on the back up off a strong win last week when on speed and raced away. He was heavily backed. His second up run was better than it looks. He was jumping sharply and tripped there to 1800. The 2,000 metres is no issue at all. He'll be on speed and hard to beat. Pakadali has the big weight here and they can't claim, but a strong win 2 runs ago and then just missed last time. That Trap for Fools form is obviously Group 1 form. He's a good Flemington horse. The Statesman, well, his return was terrific on a tough day for swoopers. The fast pace did help him, sure, but the runner-up, Waging War, has that Widgie Turf form. This guy's proven second up. I think he might be a shade of overs for us. Second Bullet, the wins are spaced, but has a case. Next best, 3, 1, 7, 2. Flemington race 3, this one for the 3-year-olds. This is the Silver Bowl final, of course, 1,600 metres. Numbers are 1, 5, 8 and 2. Buffalo River looks extremely promising. 2 Australian runs have been dominant. He was gelded into this campaign. He was backed off the map first up off a great trial and won well. He did a bit wrong last time, but he raced away and there were huge gaps behind him in fast time. On the Elite 1,600, and he's a good horse. 5, Heavenly Emperor, won the maiden well, then second up, jumped in class and trip, but produced a big finish and ran straight by subsequent winner Shawnee that day. Late scratching subsequently, so she's now a month between runs. It's a little query, but she's in the game. A Mannequin had the gap between runs into sale last time. It was nice work late there. She wasn't bad behind the likes of Moret and Declaration of Heart in April. That gives her a case here. And Asgard must receive some hope. I'm not sure can turn the tables on Buffalo River, but has a chance. 1, 5, 8 and 2. Flemington race 4. This one the Banjo Patterson final. 2,600 metres for the stayers. Numbers 5, 2, 1 and 4. Beau Balmain might be ready to win. It was a nice Australian debut running on against the pattern. Then only went up 100 metres at Lakeside. Battled on really well. Looked in need of ground there to my eye. Now gets to 2,500. Listed winner at home. And as I say, looks ready to win. Moani Machine, hey, he won that Lakeside race. He beat Pakadali, who has those Group 1 form lines and has run earlier today by now. Yes, it was an on-pace race, but the win was tough. He has won at 2,500 at home with a big weight. And Beau Balmain does have the relative weights advantage on him, but he's obviously in the mix. Shooting the Mob, look, outstayed them last time with the moderate speed, no great help. That's 5 wins now, 2,500 metres plus. The obvious query is the big jump up in the weights. And last week, Lamborghini, both chances, 5, 2, 1, 4. Flemington race 5, the Taj Rossi final, 2-year-old, 1,600 metres. Numbers here are 3, 2, 13 and 6. This Rubisaki is a good filly. It was a top debut. She was wide and then 2 really fast wins. The latest was a dominant win here at 1,400. She ran great time relative to the day against older horses, which is a terrific sign for a young 2-year-old. The query today, she comes up in weights and does give weight to the boys, but I'm happy with her on top. Pancho was a terrific win second up in a real on-pace race, then got a long way back in the Rubisaki race, charged home, 11.80 last 200. I mentioned the overall time was fast. 2.5 kilo swing on Rubisaki is a big help. Night Passage might be the overs here. Debut was good, given the slow speed, then crossed the line with St Edward's Crown, who then won, and jumped sharply to 1,600 against the older horses last time and actually ran okay. High Stranger had a similar late split to Pancho in that Rubisaki race and also has the relative weights advantage, so has a case. 3, 2, 13, 6. Flemington race 6 is the Mahogany Challenge final, 3-year-olds. This one 2,500 metres. Numbers are 9, 2, 1 and 3. Wealthy Wolf, I think, represents a little bit of value here. Good late splits at Randwick behind Nobu. Second was Curriff. I think they're 2 smart horses. Went to 2,500 last time, liked the finale. Gets a nice 5 kilo weight swing on Dunman into this and better for his first go at the trip. Not a single set. Sent hardly had a dream run in the Group 1 Queensland Derby. Actually ran well. Then carted 61 kilos against the older horses in Sydney. What's most noteworthy there is the Quinella both had form around Nobu, so that ties in easily with Wealthy Wolf. Dogmatics come up the favourite. Last two have been good efforts with big weights, but he's stuck up in the weights again and now has to run 2400. He's in the game though, and Igniter off a Forgive Run has a case. 9, 2, 1 and 3. Looking at the quadrella at Flemington on Saturday, and not going too wide. We are taking a few in the first leg though. Numbers are 9, 2, 1, 3 and 5. Wealthy Wolf looks about ready to win. A good effort last time. I like the form around Nobu. Not a single cent, has similar form lines. Dogmatic goes in. It's not easy with the big weight at 2400. Igniter preps the overs off a Forgive Run, and American in Paris will stay, so it definitely goes in. 9, 2, 1, 3 and 5 that first leg. The listed sprint finals, leg 2, race 7. Halvorsen, the late season 3-year-old, I think can measure up here in the right part of the track. I think the drying track's a big plus. Milwaukee's a great straight horse. And Smart Coupe, another one who can sharply improve here on dry ground. So we're just taking the 3 here. They're 9, 3 and 7. Third leg, the Winter Championship final, taking 4, 2, 1 and 5. So Waging War looks hard to beat. Needs a bit of luck from the draw. Mr. Marathon Man did beat him last time, but I think a more, say, a softer tempo on paper here will suit Waging War at staying at 1600. Mr. Marathon Man definitely goes in. Hell of a street, wasn't far away fresh. He has Group 1 form lines. He's the other must. And Federal probably just had a flat one last time off a slashing return. 4, 2, 1 and 5 that third leg. Coming home relatively thin, just taking the top 3, 1, 2 and 3. Sure, now I'm pretty keen she's the one to beat. She's been up a little while, I guess some little query, but she was too good for the boys last time despite being exposed a long way from home and had 60 kilos. Benetwite's really promising. I think she'll relish 1600. And Fabric was good last week after having a gap between runs against pretty much the pattern of the day. So 1, 2 and 3 home. Good luck players, quaddie players, Flemington on Saturday. Flemington race number 7. This one, the listed sprint final, of course, over 1200 metres. Numbers are 9, 3, 7 and 4. The late season 3-year-old is Halvorsen. He drops down in the weights here. He's drawn out to swoop on them. And getting onto better ground, I think, is a big plus for the horse. That winner, Guichard, did bolt in last time, but he wasn't far off the runner-up. I think he measures up in this. Milwaukee's a good straight horse. Back to 1100, didn't bring him undone last time. He's even better suited at 1200 here. It was a blanket finish in that race, some query, but he's a must. Smart Coupe is the other big improver for mine on drier ground. Good return run. She faced the breeze and then struck wet tracks the next two. I wish she drew wider, but she's overs. Holy Blade heads a stack of other chances. 9, 3, 7, 4. Flemington race 8, the Winter Championship final over 1600 metres. Numbers 4, 2, 1 and 5. Waging War, he was beaten last time, but he was terrific. He chased a red hot speed. He hit the front, he broke clear, but was run down right on the line by Mr. Marathon Man. And I think with a softer tempo here on this track, if he can slot in from that awkward draw, is really hard to beat. I love his form around Widgie Turf & Co. It's Group 1 form. Hell of a Street also has that Widgie Turf form. He was fitter for that first up run. The stable said he'd need the run. He has Mystic Journey form and Group 1 form. Actually ran well in a Rupert Clark, so he can clearly win this. Mr. Marathon Man we've touched on. That was a big win with 60 kilos against the pattern of the day, but the fast pace did suit. Staying at 1600, the only little query. And Federal had a flat 1 second up off a slashing return run. I'm expecting better. 4, 2, 1, 5. Flemington race 9, the Revette Series final 3-year-old filly, 1600 metres. Numbers are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Shawnee's the obvious. I think she's the best for the day. She flew out after a smart one in Fidelia. Before a Forgive Run 2 runs ago, she was lame there. She was exposed a long way from home last time on a strong speed, yet she was still too good for the boys and had 60 kilos. Now she's back to her own sex with the 60 kilos, sure, but I think she'll manage that well. Benetwite's a promising filly. Month between runs into sale was a strong win. Beat another promising one last time. You can tie in her form through Social Spin, which can be tied in through Longleaf, who won a Group 1 in New Zealand. So I think she's quite promising. I think she'll eat 1600. Fabric, the mile looks okay for her. She was a month between runs into the last week and ran on against the pattern of the day. So she's the other key hope. And Collectible, next best, 1, 2, 3, 6.